Hi there, I'm Linda Robinson, career coach and educational consultant at mycareertesting.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about personality choice and the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator and how we use this in career coaching. So I work with high school students, college students, young adults, and really people all ages and stages of their career choice. And it's really very helpful to look at many elements, but one of the ones that is the most helpful, I believe, is personality style. So one of the assessments that we use is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And this is a highly respected, internationally known personality assessment created by a mother and daughter team, Myers and Briggs. And it was inspired by Jungian theory. And it's a preference assessment. And what a preference is like being right-handed or left-handed. If I have a right-handed preference, I will tend to use my right more, but I also use my left. So the things I'm going to be telling you about, even though there's 8 different preferences in pairs, we tend to use them all. But when push comes to shove and you have to choose, and the assessment has you choose, which one do you tend to use the most? And each of these preferences has implications in career choice. So the first preference is where you get your energy. And E stands for extroversion, I stands for introversion. So extroverts are outer directed. They decide things out loud through discussion, through interaction. Lots of times you can hear their thought process. They're really thinking out loud. And so they're energized by being around people. I-style people are more inner directed. So their energy comes internally. So they might be a little bit more reflective. They might really focus in on their favorite activities, their hobbies, whatever that might be. That's what energizes them. They can interact with others, but it can be draining if they're around, like say, a long party all evening. That can be very tiring for them, and they'll need a little bit of time to recharge their energy. So you can see the implications career-wise. Extroverts, they do best when they have a job where they get to interact. And if they don't, they certainly need to have a hobby or something that provides them interaction with others so they can feel in balance. I-style people need that time to think, to focus, to be inner-directed, and it's great if they can have a job where they can do that. And they can offer a lot to an organization if they're given that quiet time. The next preference has to do with how you gather information. S stands for sensing, and N stands for intuition. And so I talk about a scenario that I was taught when I was trained in the Myers-Briggs, and they said, what would happen if there was a car accident and we all ran outside and we were looking at it, and the police officer, she or he asked us, how do you think this accident occurred? Don't you think that people would go on to decide this, gather the information in their own distinctive style? Well, the S people are the factual people. So they would really hone in on the facts of the situation and notice the small details of what happened. They might look at skid marks, bits of glass, other details to make their conclusion. The N people, the intuitives, may not notice any of that, but somehow they would come up with possibilities. So they might come up with 10 different ways that a person could have gotten in a car accident on a street that wasn't even very busy. Maybe they were blinded by the light, maybe they were texting, it could be all kinds of things. So they're very good at idea generation. So these can be the perfect business partners, actually. The S's are bottom line people, so they would keep track of the bottom line. And the N's, they're into the possibilities, so they're future oriented, so they can look at strategic planning. Very good pairing, and best if they're in career choices where they can use their strengths. Then the next preference is how you make decisions. So T stands for thinking, and F stands for feeling. So you've probably seen this. Thinkers decide things through logic. They want things quantifiable and step-by-step, very logical. F people, feelers, decide things through their personal values, their heart, and how others are affected. So critical thinking, science, those kinds of occupations, programming, all that, very good for people that have a logical process. And social services, helping professions, teaching, often very good, depending on the subject, the teaching. It can be different for people that use their values. The last preference is lifestyle or organizational style. And J stands for judgmental, but J people They like to plan. So they like to plan things out. They like an agenda. They like you to be on time. They actually like you to stick to your agenda. Very planning people, and that's what makes them feel good. They don't mind deadlines, and they like to know when the deadline's going to be. P people, perceptive, they tend to adapt. They're more flexible. They can deal with changing circumstances, and they are a little bit more go with the flow and can be a little bit more spontaneous. So, J people, you see them in all kinds of things, all kinds of occupations use that organized style. Management is one. P people, you see them in the arts, lots of times where flexibility is involved, and lots of times you can see them in emergency work because they can be spontaneous and change in the moment. So as you can see, all these different preferences could really impact your career choice. Now, if you're in a career that doesn't match your style, you'll be all right, because people, if they can, will twist that job or occupation around to match them. But if they can't, change things. So if a person working an introverted job that's an extrovert can't make it so she or he is more extroverted, they're going to be exhausted. But they can do the job, and nobody probably will notice the difference. It's what they're going to notice. But if you're in a job that matches who you are and your personality style, you're going to feel in balance, and work's going to feel good and like fun. It's not going to feel like work. So that's what's important about personality style. You really have to look at it and understand it so that you can come up with a career choice that's right for you. So if you're interested in learning more about personality assessment and the Myers-Briggs and how I use it in career coaching, or want to find out about career coaching in general, please contact me. My website is mycareertesting.com, and I look forward to talking with you. Thank you.